Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Wednesday, May the 11th. Once again, got a two-game slate for Wednesday. We got Game 5 of Milwaukee and Boston, and we have Game 5 of Golden State Memphis. The Milwaukee-Boston series is tied at 2-2, so pretty big game here. Definitely a pivotal game. Winning that Game 5 is always huge when the series is tied. So that should be a very, very fun game to watch. Hopefully it stays close. And then we got Golden State Memphis. Obviously Memphis playing without Ja Morant right now. Golden State up 3-1 in that series, has a chance to close out the series. Golden State, they've got their history being down or being up 3-1, and we've kind of seen how that goes. But I think Golden State pretty likely to close out that series tonight. But we'll talk about that game when we get there. We'll go through, talk about each one of these two games, break down each team, give my early thoughts on this slate, what I do like, taking a first look on Tuesday night. And then as we do go through each game, we will build out an early core. We'll talk about five guys I like on both DraftKings and on Yahoo. Now, as always, before we get started with the breakdown, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. I always appreciate all the likes. Hit that subscribe button as well if you are new here. Also, check out the sponsor of the video, Prize Picks. So, Prize Picks, player prop based DFS site. I'm sure most of you guys have already heard about Prize Picks, but if you have not, if you're new and you want to check Prize Picks out, you can sign up with my promo code NOAH. Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And it's a player prop based DFS site. It is really simple. You're just picking the over or the under on players' projections. You're not having to compete against other players. It's not like FanDuel, DraftKings, Yahoo, where you're building out a lineup and competing against other people. It's just you versus their projections. You take a look at their board, look at their projections. If you have a lean one way or the other, over or under, make your selections. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 5 picks, and you can win up to 10 extra money on Prize Picks. You can also mix and match sports. Prize Picks does offer a lot of other sports outside of just NBA. Give them a try. Sign up. Use code NOAH. They will match your first deposit up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But yeah, Wednesday slate, guys. Two-gamer. Let's talk through it. Start off with the Milwaukee and Boston game. So looking at Milwaukee today, you have Giannis at the top for 11,600. I mean, I think on this two-game slate, Giannis looks like the best pay-up option once again. He was my favorite pay-up option last slate. He was great, played 41 minutes, put up 63 DraftKings points. I mean, his usage in the playoffs has just been phenomenal, especially without Chris Middleton. He's just been dominating the usage, him and Drew Holiday. Giannis, put up 32 shots in those 41 minutes, had 34 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 assists. Especially with with kind of how this slate is shaping up and there being some value to go to that we'll talk about later, it's fairly easy to pay up for Giannis, and I just think he's the highest floor option on the slate. I think he's got the highest ceiling as well. He's a guy that I want to try and build around. So I like Giannis quite a bit on DraftKings. I like him on Yahoo as well. For sure, the top pay-up option overall today, in my opinion. And then you have Drew Holiday, who I kind of have interest in the mid-range. He's lately not been shooting the ball that well, but man, his usage has been really good. The shot attempts have been really good. You look at these, the 4 games in this series, 20, 20, 30, and 22 field goal attempts. Last game he shot 5 for 22, 22% from the field. He still scored 43 DraftKings points last game while shooting 22% from the field. He chipped in with 7 rebounds and 9 assists, had 3 steals. We know Drew can do everything when he's on the floor. He can rebound. He's a good rebounding guard. He can obviously get assists. He can get those defensive stats. If he just has if he has a good shooting game, I mean, he could put up like 50 plus DraftKings points. So I think the upside is really high for Drew. I do like him quite a bit in the mid range. Could you play him and Giannis together? Like, I think you could, honestly, just because both guys are playing so many minutes right now. Both guys are dominating the usage. So, yeah, I think Drew's a very solid option in the mid-range. Bobby Portis, ever since he went back to the bench, it's just pretty much out of play for me, at least at his price tag. He only played 15 minutes last game, so I'm not really interested in Bobby Portis right now. Brook Lopez, I still think is a pretty decent value play. He once again had another solid game last game, put up 27 DK points, played 29 minutes. He's been scoring a decent amount. He's been rebounding really well. His rebounding numbers are definitely going to be better with Bobby Portis not in the starting lineup. Less minutes he plays alongside Bobby Portis, the better, because Bobby Portis is a guy that, when he's on the floor, he's going to grab rebounds. He's going to score. He's a pretty high usage player. I think Brook Lopez, if he's getting 30 minutes a night, which is about what he's played in this series, pretty likely to, produce enough to pay off his salary. So I think Brook Lopez at 4,800 is still a pretty good value. Then you have Grayson Allen at 3,900. Obviously, he's been starting lately over Bobby Portis. Has not been playing that well. You look at the game log. I mean, obviously, game log is not everything, but I'm not super into Grayson Allen right now. I think there's still a path to him scoring like 25 DraftKings points if he can get hot from the field, if he can get hot from three, but he really hasn't been taking many shots lately. He just hasn't been that productive. Maybe he has a good game at some point, but I'm not really that into Grayson Allen right now. I think Pat Connaughton is the guy that looks really appealing. So Pat Connaughton's been playing really well lately. His minutes have also been really high. He's played 33 and 30 minutes the last two games. He's clearly kind of been playing ahead of Grayson Allen. Even though Grayson Allen is the starter and has been starting, they've been closing with Pat Connaughton over Grayson Allen. I know Grayson Allen got subbed back in late in that game, but Connaughton was out there for kind of the crunch time minutes. Played 30 minutes. He's played 30-plus minutes in back-to-back games. I think we're going to continue to get like 25, 30 minutes a night from Pat Connaughton. He's very similar to Grayson Allen. Like, he's not a super productive point-per-minute player, but he can hit threes. He can rebound really well. We've seen him get 8 and 7 rebounds in the last two games. So at 3,800, I think Pat Connaughton looks like a pretty good value play today. I've kind of been interested in him so far in the playoffs. I've been playing him a little bit. I think on this slate, he looks like a pretty solid value. So like him on DraftKings. He's minimum salary on Yahoo, so I do like him over there as well. And that's really it from Milwaukee. I don't think anything else stands out here. So let's talk about Boston now. And looking at the Celtics, you got Jason Tatum at 9,600, who coming off a big game last game where he put up 55 DK points, played 42 minutes, had a big bounce back game after he really struggled in game 3 of that series. Played 42 minutes, took 24 shots, had 30 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Look, we know the upside that Jason Tatum has. We know he's going to play massive minutes. He's played at least 40 minutes in every game so far in this series. I think when you're looking at this 2-game slate and you're looking at the pay-up options, you kind of have to choose between Giannis, Steph, and Tatum. I think I would rank them Giannis number 1, then Steph, then Tatum. But obviously on a 2-game slate, Jason Tatum is in play. I have no issue going there. Jaylen Brown, a little bit disappointing last game after he had been so good in games 2 and 3. Kind of came back down to earth last game. He did get into some foul trouble. He was limited a little bit by that. But even without the foul trouble, like, he really didn't play that well last game. Wasn't super productive. Maybe Jaylen Brown bounces back today. I think at 8,300, he's a fine play. Not someone I'm really trying to build around, but he's a playable option. Al Horford continues to crush in this series. I mean, he's just been great. 37, 40, 57, and 48 DraftKings points. Had another huge game last game. He's been playing massive minutes, 36, 37, 39. Got up to 42 minutes last game. Even old-ass Al Horford, 35-year-old, 35. He's just been out there crushing him. He's been playing really well in this series, getting a lot of minutes. We'll have to keep an eye on the status of Robert Williams, because I think Robert Williams being in or out maybe bumps up or down Horford a little bit. I did like Horford even more last slate after Robert Williams got ruled out. But even if Robert Williams plays, like, I still think Horford is a solid option just because he's gonna get big minutes. But the price tag, 7,300, Horford is starting to get up there now. Like, at this price tag, I'm not like running to roster Horford, but I still think he's in play. I think he has the upside to pay off the salary, and we've seen him put up big games to be worth this price tag. Marcus Smart as a mid-range play, I think is fine. He's going to get probably 35 to 40 minutes. He got up to 41 minutes last game, was productive, had 36 DraftKings points in that time. I mean, we've seen Marcus Smart, his minutes be really secure in the playoffs. He's going to get probably mid to high 30s minutes, maybe around 40 minutes if he's playing well. At 5,900, I think in the mid-range, he's for sure in play. Robert Williams, again, is questionable, so this will be something to monitor. Did not play last game. So far in this series, he's not been getting like a ton of minutes, only 22, 25, and 23 minutes. So even if Robert Williams does play today, like, I don't know exactly how many minutes he plays. My guess is like mid to high 20s. At 5K, I don't think he's someone that I'm prioritizing today, but he would be a viable tournament option if he is in. But I'm a little bit worried about this injury. Like, if Robert Williams does play today, is he going to be 100%? Like, we don't really know. So anytime a guy's like maybe playing through injury, they're always a little bit riskier. But we know Robert Williams can produce when he's on the floor. We saw him put up 32 DraftKings points in only 23 minutes in Game 3. He's for sure viable if he is in today. And then Grant Williams, he did start last game, in place of Robert Williams. Wasn't productive. Only played 25 minutes. Was in some foul trouble. So far in the series, Grant Williams has been, pretty good. He's been playing good minutes. He's, been good on the defensive end. At 4,600, I think Grant Williams is priced about where he should be, but he's still in play for value because clearly he is going to be a, consistent part of the Celtics rotation. I think on a nightly basis, at least in this series, you're going to see Grant Williams play like 30 minutes. Maybe he plays a little bit more if Robert Williams sits again. No issue going to Grant Williams. And that's probably it. Like, I mean, Derek White did get some good minutes last game, 34 minutes, but that's just like something I don't know if that really happens again. We've seen Derek White's minutes kind of be up and down in the series. Does he close over, guys like Grant Williams? Probably not. So, even though Derek White played 34 minutes last game, I'm not like super excited about him today. I don't think it's a guarantee that he gets those minutes again. I think most likely he's getting like mid-20s. So that's it for Boston. Let's go ahead and talk about the next game, Golden State and Memphis. So looking at Golden State, you got Steph at the top, who, like I said, I think is probably my second favorite stud on the slate behind Giannis. That was kind of the case last slate, and Steph was really good. He did get outscored or Tatum did outscore Steph by a little bit, but Steph still had 52 Draftkings points, played 38 minutes. He's just gonna be out there for 38, 40 minutes. We know Steph's gonna take a ton of shots when he's on the floor. 25 shot attempts last game. Didn't even shoot the ball that well. 40% from the field, 28% from three. Still had 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Like, his peripherals have been good lately. Obviously, we know the scoring's going to be there. I think Steph looks like a pretty good pay-up option today. And like I said, there is some value on this slate, so it's fairly easy to pay up for 1 or 2 studs if you want to go that route. I think right now, Steph and Giannis are kind of my 2 favorites, but if you want to go Tatum, I don't hate that either. I think on Yahoo though, Steph, $38. He looks like a really good pay-up option over there. He's really discounted compared to Giannis. He's $20 less than Giannis. He's a little bit cheaper than Tatum as well. I definitely like Steph at that Yahoo salary. And then you got Klay at 7,400. So far in the postseason, I've just kind of been fading Klay. He hasn't shown much of a ceiling. We know that ceiling is always there. We know Klay can get hot from 3 and have big games any night, but at his price tag, he's not someone that I'm like super excited about. Jordan Poole coming off the bench probably plays like 25 to 30 minutes. Well, probably not 25, 30, probably like low 30s minutes. At 6,900, I think Jordan Poole's probably priced where he should be, but as a mid-range guard, I think he's playable. I would definitely prefer him over Klay, I think, if I had to pick one of those 2 guys. Draymond, not been great so far in the series. Hasn't shown much upside. You look at the game log, he's yet to top 30 Draftkings points in any game so far in these 4 games. Would have to think Draymond's going to have like a big game at some point where he gets like almost a triple-double. Maybe he gets like 8 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. Like, got to feel like one of those games is coming soon for Draymond. Is it today? Like, I don't know. Draymond, he hasn't shown a ton of upside so far, so he's kind of a tough guy to trust right now. But that upside is always there. We know he's going to get like 35, 36 minutes if it's a close game. So he's playable, more of a risky tournament option though. Wiggins continues to be just kind of a safe floor play. He did kind of show a little bit of a ceiling last game, had a double-double, 39 minutes, 38 Draftkings points. He's been consistent. 28, 33, 29, 38 Draftkings points in the 4 games in the series. Minutes should be, probably mid to high 30s. At 6K, I think, Andrew Wiggins, like I say, pretty much every video, he's just kind of a safe play. I do kind of question the upside, but I think, the floor is definitely there. And then if you're looking for value, you got Otto Porter, who probably gets like low 20s minutes. He played 26 last game. I think at 4,200, he's kind of priced where he should be, but I definitely think Otto Porter is still in play just because he has been, fairly productive when he's gotten minutes, and it seems like the minutes are going to consistently be there. He's kind of been their go-to bench guy, outside of Jordan Poole. He's kind of the one guy off the bench that has been getting consistent minutes. Kuminga started again last game and barely played, so if Kuminga starts again, which he probably won't, I wouldn't even go there. There's a good chance that Otto Porter starts over Kuminga today. So if Otto Porter does start, I like him a little bit more. They might start Jordan Poole. If they decide to start Jordan Poole, I think Jordan Poole would look a little bit better. But that's really it from Golden State. Nothing else stands out here. So let's go ahead and talk about Memphis now before we end the video. So, looking at Memphis, obviously the big news here is that Ja Morant, seems like is going to be out for the rest of the playoffs. Obviously not playing this game, and maybe if by some chance Memphis pulls off a miracle and they advance to the next round, does Ja play in the next round? I don't really know. But right now Ja is expected to be out for tonight's game, so without Ja, that kind of just benefits everyone. Jaren Jackson Jr. gets a bump in usage. Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Tyus Jones is going to play good minutes. We'll start off with Jaren Jackson at the top. So he was really good last game. Put up 41 DK points in 34 minutes. Took 21 shots. And clearly, if you look at the on-off splits, when you take Ja Morant off the floor, Jaren Jackson Jr. has actually been one of the biggest beneficiaries. His usage goes way up without Ja Morant on the floor. He's going to take way more shots. He's going to be able to be more aggressive offensively. And he was that, he was aggressive last game. Took 21 shots, stayed out of foul trouble for the most part, played 34 minutes. Obviously, foul trouble is always a concern with Triple J, but when he's not in foul trouble, he's got upside, especially without Ja on the floor. There's more usage available. So I definitely think Jaren Jackson Jr. is a solid option in the mid-range. Desmond Bane, I don't know what's going on with Desmond Bane. I think he's hurt right now. He just has not played well at all this series. Even last game without Ja, he only took 8 shots. it's tough to go to Desmond Bane right now. He was someone that I did like quite a bit last slate, but after I watched that game, like he just did not look that good. Like he just wasn't healthy. He hasn't been aggressive. I guess, there's always a chance that maybe this is the game that Desmond Bane gets hot from three and has a big game, but man, like he's a guy that right now, when you look at the usage, when you look at his rates, he just hasn't been producing at the he hasn't been producing at the level that we're accustomed to him producing at. He's definitely been underperforming, and maybe that is because of the injury that he's been dealing with, that back injury. Not a ton of interest in Desmond Bane. Dylan Brooks, I mean, he got good usage last game, but he just shot the ball terribly. He played 39 minutes, but he shot 5 for 19. Did have 8 assists and 5 rebounds to go along with the 12 points that he scored. Dylan Brooks, he's another guy that when Ja Morant's off the floor, Dylan Brooks gets a big bump in usage. So I think at 5,600, like he still looks like a pretty good play today. He's going to take a lot of shots. He's not the best shooter. He's not a very efficient shooter, but the volume's going to be there, and the price tag is still not that high. So I think Dylan Brooks is definitely in play today. Then you got Tyus Jones at 4,900, who I think once again looks like one of the best values. Tyus Jones last game played 41 minutes, obviously started in place of Ja, was really productive, had 37 DraftKings points. Pretty much every game that he started in place of Ja this year, he's been pretty productive in every game. He's a guy that averages right around a fantasy point per minute. And after playing 41 minutes last game, it's pretty clear that Taylor Jenkins is okay playing Tyus Jones huge minutes. I think he trusts him to fill the role that Ja was playing. So even at 4,900, even though the price tag came up, I think Tyus Jones looks like an exceptional play once again. Like him a lot on Yahoo as well, $17 over there. Even with the price up, I think he's a great play today. Then you got some of these bench guys who are a little bit tough to trust right now. Brandon Clark, his minutes have been way down. He only played 12 minutes last game. He just hasn't been that productive in the series. He just hasn't been utilized as much. The price tag's coming down, like he's only 4,700. So like we know at this salary, Brandon Clark has the upside to really pay off this salary. I mean, we saw the upside he had in that Minnesota series, but he just hasn't been used the same in this series as he was against Minnesota. It's a different matchup. I don't think they really need Brandon Clark out there as much. So tough to have a ton of confidence in Brandon Clark right now. DeAnthony Melton, I thought would have played more last game without Ja, but he only played 9 minutes. So, like, I want to say DeAnthony Melton's a pretty good value play, but it is a little concerning that he only played 9 minutes last game. After Ja got with Ja out, like he was getting good minutes when Ja was playing, and then Ja gets ruled out. Ja doesn't play and he plays way less minutes. That's a little odd. I think DeAnthony Melton plays more than 9 minutes today, but obviously it's concerning, that he was barely used last game. Price tag's still fairly cheap though, so I think Melton is still viable, just a little bit risky. Kyle Anderson off the bench, I mean, he's playable. He probably gets like low 20s minutes. He played 23 last game. He was super productive in that time. Wouldn't expect Kyle Anderson to average, 1.5 fantasy points per minute like he did last game. But if he plays 22, 24 minutes again, he probably scores like 20 DraftKings points and, is solid, but not a guy that I'm, super excited about. The one value play, though, that looks really good is Steven Adams. So Steven Adams actually got moved back into the starting lineup last game, and he played well, and he played pretty good minutes. He played 27 minutes, was super productive, had a double-double, had 37 DraftKings points in that time. I mean, Steven Adams, when he's been in the starting lineup and has consistently played good minutes, he's been like a 6K player. Does Steven Adams play 27 minutes again? Like, I don't know. We saw Steven Adams kind of start in some of those Minnesota games and then, barely play. They started him last game, though, and played him a good amount. They didn't even play Xavier Tillman. Xavier Tillman got a DNP last game. So I think clearly Taylor Jenkins has kind of just gone away from Xavier Tillman and is now back to playing Steven Adams. So I think Steven Adams starts again. I think he plays at least like low 20s minutes. I mean, he's only 3,400. Like it's gonna be really hard for Steven Adams to kill your lineup at this salary unless he just gets a goose egg or something. He's a productive enough player that even if he plays like 20 minutes, he probably is still going to score enough DraftKings points in that time to be worth his salary. And by some chance, if he plays like 27 minutes again, he's probably going to be a guy that you have to have at this salary. I mean, he is definitely way, way too cheap if he's consistently going to get these minutes. It's just, I guess there's a slight risk, just because we have seen them kind of go away from Steven Adams so far in the playoffs. But given they started him last game, I'm guessing they do that again. So at 3,400, Steven Adams looks like a great play today, great value option. On Yahoo, very cheap over there. I think he's a great value play over on Yahoo as well at $12. But that's all that I got from Memphis. I think that's everything here. That's it for this 2-game Wednesday slate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate you watching. Hit that like button before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. Check out PrizePicks, the sponsor of this video. Again, you can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code NOAH. PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. when you do sign up with my promo code. And you can take a look at their board, take a look at the props they have available right now for Wednesday. They don't really have much up at the moment, but obviously, as we get closer to tip-off Wednesday night, they'll start to add a lot more props. You can take a look at their full board, make some picks for yourself. You're just picking over or under. Very simple, very easy to use, fun site. And a lot of you guys I know already play on PrizePicks, but if you haven't yet, if you haven't signed up over there, get over there, use code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. But that's all that I got for today, guys. Wish you the best of luck on this 2-game slate. Enjoy your Wednesday night, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.